Hello YouTubers or visitors of Misclick Gaming's blog. Today I'm going to be giving a quick rundown on how I play Vayne in the bottom lane. I used to play a different Vayne altogether and it was quite successful, but this new way absolutely dominates. My new style of Vayne has been greatly inspired by a guide on solo mid written by a player called Chaos, but it does differ in quite a few instances. I'll quickly cover runes and masteries because they are fairly standard AD carry setup, but I'll also cover some alternatives. If you need any more in-depth explanations, just let me know. Okay, so with the masteries, I tend to go with 21-9-0. Going 21 in the offense tree, focusing on brute force for added attack damage, alacrity for attack speed, havoc for extra attack percent, and with weapon expertise and sunder for armor penetration. Going 9 into the defense tree, focusing on armor, magic resist, and health. Onto the runes. I run a standard armor pen for reds. I've done the math and so have many other people. Overall, armor pen is the best choice. With yellows, armor. Armor is awesome. It makes every bit of HP count for so much more. And since dodge is almost on a bandwagon headed for no man's land, this seems like an obvious choice. As for blues, magic resist. As an AD carry, you do not want to be bursted down by magic, and magic resist is a good blue rune choice because magic damage is usually done in bunches, and that's when resistances come in handy since it is percentage based. As for quintessences, armor penetration is once again usually the best choice. There are of course alternatives, as I mentioned before. There are only really two other rune pages I would suggest, one of which being a troll build, which can actually work. But first off, here's another rune page that I can actually use quite often. You can go reds for attack damage, which is quite good. If you know that you'll be laning with a healer, you can use attack damage reds, and I'll explain why soon. As for yellows, as I said, since there's a 100% chance dodge is going to be removed, there is not really any other options for yellows except armor. Blues, since you don't really want mana regen or anything like that, magic resist per level would be the other good option here, which all depends on if you feel like playing it safe until the magic resist per level runes actually overcome the flat ones, which from memory I think is about level 9 or something like that. As for the quintessences, you have a couple of options besides the armor pen. You can also go the attack damage, as I said before, or even move speed comes to mind. Vayne works wonders with extra move speed. Incredible harass comes from the enemy not being able to outrun a tumbling vampire hunter. Attack damage is also once again incredible if stacked with the right items and lane partner, which I'll explain that very shortly as I mentioned before. So, what's this troll build I was talking about? Well, it's Vayne we are talking about, and troll builds usually exist around making one certain aspect of a champion really stand out. And on Vayne, this is her W skill, which is her silver bolts. You can really take advantage of this skill by simply stacking attack speed. So the rune page would look something like this. Reds, attack speed. Yellow, attack speed. Blues, attack speed. And quints, mana regen. Oh, wait. Attack speed. Giving us 38% bonus attack speed, which, at level 1, taking it from 0.66 attacks per second to 0.938 attacks per second. That will feel like double. That will feel like pretty much double the amount of attack speed once you're actually in-game. And if you really wanted to troll, you could even start with a dagger, which takes you to 1.037 attacks per second at level 1. Well, with a bit of math, with silver bolts, if you get 3 shots off at level 1, you're looking at 191 damage plus 4% of the target's health. So let's pretend that someone has 500 HP, you would be looking at an extra 20 damage, which is taking your level 1 damage to over 200 damage just straight off the bat. That is pretty awesome. Okay, let's get into the item build. To start off, I usually go with boots and 3 health pots, which is best when in solo queue because you usually don't end up with a healer, and even if you do, they probably suck or don't want to heal. If you do get a healer, like in pre-made or duo queue, your low level damage can be amazing. By level 3 you can pretty much guarantee kills. Let me explain. If you know that you will have a healer, and you can get attack damage reds, attack damage quints, and start with a Doran's Blade, and have Brute Force and Havoc masteries, giving you an extra 28.3 attack damage. That means you start with 81.3 attack damage instead of 53. That's a massive difference at level 1. We have to also consider that this could possibly change our skill order. Usually I would start with Q, which is Tumble, which with 81.3 attack damage will punt someone for 113.82 damage. While Condemn on the other hand will dish out 171.3 if you get someone against a wall with it, which also stuns them for 1.5 seconds, allowing you to get a couple more hits off than normal, which is almost all that damage again. So you do over 300 damage at level 1 as well as stunning them, and as long as your lane partner isn't retarded, this should be a kill or at least a get back to base before we finish you off type scenario. Okay, let's move on. After I get either my boots or Dorans, the next trip back I will grab whichever one I didn't get in the first place. If I'm doing well, I'll go straight for a Zeal. But if I'm completely dominating and farm myself with excess gold before I even remember to go back, I'll grab a BF sword first. Zeal works wonders on Vayne, extra attack speed and move speed. If I end up thinking I'm going to get a Zeal first, I will put a point into Silver Bolts at level 3. If I think I'm going to get a BF sword first, I will end up getting a point in Condemn instead. After the Zeal and BF sword, the next item would be either a Bloodthirster, Infinity Edge, or Phantom Dancer, all depending on the game. If I'm finding it hard to sustain myself in lane, I will always go Bloodthirster. If I am dominating and or not finding it hard to stick to enemies, I will go Infinity Edge, which is always the preferred option. Otherwise, if I find I'm just missing the extra 1 or 2 shots before the enemy gets back to tower safety, I will get a Phantom Dancer so I can dance my way into killing them. Ultimately, I've just about said the core of the build. It is just up to the game to choose which items you get first. Note, Last Whisper is not needed on Vayne, her Silver Bullets covers that. Defense items could be Banshee's Veil, Warmog's Armor, or Guardian Angel. It's up to you. Before I go into gameplay tips, I'll quickly discuss the skill order. I usually get Q first, but quite often get Condemn. It all depends on the lane partner. If it is someone who can run into the bushes straight away and not worry about it, I get Condemn, because they can act as a ward for me to pin one against the wall. If, however, you have a more passive lane partner, then Q will be fine to start with. After you have chosen that, get Silver Bolts at either level 3 if you are getting a Zeal first, or level 4 if you get a BF sword first. Then just prioritize R, then E, then Q, then W. If you get a Phantom Dancer first, I would prioritize W over Q. Okay, now some gameplay tips. This is how I play Vayne, and it has been quite successful in online and LAN tournaments I have attended. The best tip I could possibly give for when playing Vayne in bottom is to buy a ward and ward whichever bottom bush the enemy is trolling in. This will set you up for a Condemn, which is your bread and butter. I also have a good example here of knowing that Jax is in the bush and waiting to jump on me. At this point, I know that I could outburst him, so I just wait and bait him against the wall. Tumble out, Condemn him, and get off a Silver Bolt proc. Was the jump worth it now, Jax? I don't think so. If the enemy stop trolling the bush, you should start trolling it. Wait for them to get against the wall and Condemn them all the way to Elo Hell. This works wonders if you have a Blitzcrank or Alistair in your lane. Whenever you aren't trying to set enemies up to be condemned, you should be getting last hits all the time. With practice, you should be able to do these two things at the same time. So that brings me to the end of this guide. If you have any further questions, let me know in the comments below, or even visit my blog at the link on the screen. Don't be afraid to like, subscribe, and comment. See you later, guys.
First blood, 2 minutes, I'm calling it. Straight HP runes, you know what it is. 1k HP at level 1. Turret dive, double kill, what now, son? Run away, run away, run away now. Level 2, land a toss through the jungle wall. Pro snips, pro snips, pro snips, pro snips, pro snips. Are you mad, bro? But deep down, I really don't care. That's why level 3 I always take to spare. When my foes get mad, they got a top QQ. When all I gotta do is press W. Grabbing red, grabbing blue, coming after you. Hug your turd, it's the only thing you can do. 4 minutes in, I'm unstoppable. GG, bro, better go uninstall.